The spring game? Visit the Highball Bar for daily specials, live music, and much more. Spend your spring game Saturday just north of 11th and O and within walking distance of Memorial Stadium at the Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? Happy Hump Days. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. DP is in transit back to either the Ticket or the great state of Nebraska. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients, a butcher shop. 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, every type of meat, every type of cut. I'm going to speak on some meat right now. If you can see me right here. See that right there?
Ooh.
Garlic and herb jerky brought to my man from the Mercado. This stuff right here is kicking like Bruce Lee.
The garlic and herb hits.
It's hitting, man. It's almost to the point that you can't eat it when I'm on air, because then I'll lose concentration. But a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, NBA playoffs and the draft is 24 hours from now, Austin. Obviously, we'll talk on some guys from Nebraska got the possibilities. We got about an 8-minute segment here, but for me, the draft is unless you go where you kind of either think you should go, projected to go, you generally are. It's a very frustrating and stressful time, and then it all goes away. Once you get that call, if you're fortunate enough to get the call. I was listening to The Drive, and Amon Green was talking about when he left early, and back then, not a lot of guys went early from Nebraska, and Amon definitely deserved to do so. Essentially ran, I think, over 1,000 yards, every year since he was in college. Very dominant player since he got on campus. Had 2,000 yards his last year. He mentioned, when I saw him run his 40, it was anywhere between like high 4.1s to low 4.2s. And Amon was in phenomenal shape. Obviously did his thing and trained and did everything he's supposed to do. And then he, in his mind and in reality, he fell to the third round. So he talked about his experience where legitimately there was nothing else he could have done. There's nothing else out there that he could have done not to be drafted. Maybe there, I have to look how many running backs were selected. So sometimes you can oversaturate the market and young guy gets pushed down. But when you have a young, true junior that's running a 4.1, 4.2 40, I would think you'd pick him higher. Obviously, the cream always rose to the top, and he obviously proved everybody wrong. But I was thinking that made me think about myself, and obviously nowhere near projected to get drafted where he was at. Obviously running back was a big position where the NFL was dependent on, you need a true RB1. To be honest with you though, Austin, I'd redshirted my first year, started essentially 3 years, 3 national championships. I had thought about leaving early. And I was thinking about leaving early and if I had to do it all over again, I would probably think harder about it, because that year there wasn't a lot of linebackers in the draft. So then you just naturally would have got drafted higher, probably higher than I was even at skill set. I felt like I was a better and more complete player my senior year. But I think the opportunity, supply and demand, that's what the draft comes down to.
Right.
Supply and demand. Is demand higher than the supply? Then you see guys jump, and that's where you see guys that projected maybe second round, third round picks somehow get drafted in the first. But it was stressful. I was realistic with it. My dad had talked to some people, and I always kind of felt like I would over deliver, and I kind of felt like I legitimately done everything I need to do to be drafted anywhere between third and fifth round. Now the fifth round would have been, I was thinking, at the beginning, not at the very end, with 4 picks left. And, look, man, I was like, 240 some pounds, and, jumped 37, 38, low 4.6s, high 4.5, 40. I did everything I needed to do. Played, in Nebraska, a ton of linebackers, and you just go down and, but it couldn't have worked out for a place to slip to. Going to Buffalo was the best thing to happen for me. But the draft, the day of the draft, the day before the draft, the week leading up to the draft is horrible. When you're a week out, the days go by slower. It's like, dang, it's still 2:00. I already worked out like once. I might as well go do it again. And then when you get to about 3 days out, 2 days out, it goes by fast. This day here is long, because when I got drafted, I don't think it started to 6 or 7. Yeah, 6 or 7, maybe 5, because we did the first 3 rounds, and then the next day was the next 4, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. So I, by no means did I think I was going first round. Never even crossed my mind. It would have been great, but it didn't. Second round, maybe late. If there was a run on linebackers and somebody really liked me or whatever, maybe. Had a lot of great conversations with people, with guys, and it was the information that you got wasn't readily available like it is now, because you didn't have any insiders getting on the internet. We barely just had the internet back then. You know what I mean?
Did you have a sense of who the teams that liked you more than others were from interviews?
Look, I had a great interview with Denver. They drafted my man Al Wilson first round. Great player. Great interview with Carolina Panthers. They drafted Hannibal Navies in the 4th round. Great player, good career. I had a great interview with the team at the time where I'm originally from, the Washington Redskins. They drafted some dude that they wasn't even at the combine in the 4th or 5th round. Great interview with Jacksonville and the Dolphins. I don't know who they drafted. I wanted to go to Minnesota. That's where I'm from. My boys were there. They probably like, yeah, this dude. We done heard about them before. We're going to just pass on you. They drafted a little dude from Clemson, little old linebacker. Now, excuse me, Ed McDaniel was a small linebacker from Clemson, so maybe they thought like there's replica. I'll tell you this: there was 2 teams I told myself. I had a really good interview with Atlanta as well. Dallas. I mean, all of them were great. They all needed linebackers. Philly, they drafted my man Barry Gardner, 2nd round, I think. Cleveland, they worked a dog mess out of me.
Dog mess in the dog pound.
Hey, me and Chad Kelsey, tongue on the ground. Pittsburgh, Keith Butler, who's a linebacker coach at Pittsburgh, and the other dude, I think he was at Cleveland then. That's what it was. Man, he worked this out. I was like, he better take me. All right? Because he said he watched me out in the All-Star game. There's 2 teams I told myself I didn't want to get drafted to. Green Bay. I grew up hating Green Bay, but who wants to go to Green Bay? Right?
Seriously.
I'm right here. Tyrone Williams was like, man, there ain't nothing to do. I'm like, there ain't nothing to do here. I don't want I guess you could have got paid and not nothing to do.
Can't have 4 more years of nothing to do.
And then I was like, I don't want to go to Buffalo. Then I was like, I went to the combine. The way the combine was, it was like speed dating. And they don't set you up for success. Because like if
Thanks,
you
NFL.
like if you go out to say, I always my comparison, if like I have a friend that works at Apple. So when he went out there, as he started to get longer in the interview process, they bring him out, let him chill for a day, fly him out early, fly him out, sightsee, dinner, relax, all that, spa. So he's on his, in his best mind frame. When NFL, you get there, you up at 5 and you don't go to bed till like 2 a.m. And so you do all the tests, and then from like 9 p.m. until whenever they're done with you, you get to go have these 15-minute like deals, like conversations. So, leaving the combine, I interview with every single team except Buffalo and Green Bay. And I kind of, and the reason why another reason is me and my agent talked to my Green Bay already had linebackers, young, didn't need one. Same with Buffalo. They just drafted Sam Cowart, who would end up being one of my mentors. The year before, had John Holisek there, who was another mentor from the South Side of Chicago. Toughest dude I've ever been around. Toughest dude, tough, but great dude. He just to read up his contract. They ain't gonna draft me, right?
Hey, lucky you don't want to go there.
Yeah, great,
cool.
Somebody picking me. So the third round comes, and then Arizona. That was who I really had a really good conversation with. And my mom, was living there in Glendale. Oh yeah, I'm getting home food, home cooked meals. Cardinals are garbage, but
Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix. They picked Johnny Rutledge from Florida. Garbage. I mean, my man was slow as Christmas and, molasses. No quickness, nothing. But Florida had a good year that year. So they picked him. Then I was like, all right, I'm going to go to Philly. I said, that might be kind of tough, just because of Philly fans. But they had some starters, but, I was like, I'll make my way in the next couple of years. Check my man, Barry Gardner. Disappointed. Feelings hurt. They're mad. I was throwing stuff. Man, bump this. I got my dad. This is funny. My dad, I'm mad, so he's mad. My Uncle Butch is mad. We in the kitchen congregating. He calling my agent up, cussing him. And then he's hanging up the phone. He's like, I told you not to go with him. Then I feel bad. Then I'm like going back at him. Then you got to sleep on it all night. Because then you rewatch here's the funny thing.
Oh, and you can't sleep mad. That never goes well.
No. Oh, no, I ain't sleep at all. But then they replay the draft. Well, then I'm watching the draft thinking, I'm going to still get drafted. Hoping, you're hoping the ending's different. You know what I'm saying? No, didn't happen.
They changed the Sopranos finally.
Right. Didn't happen. So then it came to fourth round. Carolina Panthers, they had Kevin Steele was there, at one point in time he was there. They loved Nebraska players. Tony Veland was down there. Mike Minner was down there. Ed Stewart had been down there at some point in time. I think Damon Benning had been down there. So they love Nebraska players. Dom Capers. Me and Sam Mills, rest in peace, we went over 15 minutes in our interview. And he called me all the time. Called me actually after the third round ended. We got 2 fourth round picks. I'm telling him I want you. Straight up. I'm like, and I knew they were going to pick somebody in the higher fourth round. I'm like, oh, yeah. They picking me. They just had picked Mike Rucker in the second round. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be down there. I got extra former teammates. Oh, we about to bring national championship down to Carolina. Man, when I see Hannibal Navies come over there, I was like, oh, heck no. You can't be serious.
Thought you and Sam were tight.
We were. He ain't had the power. And Jason Peter was down there. Oh, I was like, oh, we about to turn up to 2,000. I was like, we about to tear this place. We about to tear the football field up. We about to tear the whole place up. This once we got down there, because I was going to stir it up real quick. They picked Hannibal. Then I was like, I was defeated, like just defeated. And then Cleveland came. And I was like, okay, well, that I'll go to Dog Pound. I was actually, when I was watching football playoffs, I love Cleveland. They used to always let me down. Ernest Biner or somebody have fumble. Then I seen John Elway go 99 on them all the time. Wally Rainier. What? Wally Rainier? Now, he ended up being a great player. Don't get me wrong. I love Wally. He was funny. He used to wear these lokes. He was yoked up, dude. But he's slow. You know what I'm saying? He's straight guard to guard. I'm like, man, this dude worked me to death, and you gonna pick this dude? Well, I'm sure he like Wally. Picked Wally. And then they picked this dude named Raheem Abdullah in the 3rd round. I was like, Pittsburgh didn't pick me. Then it came to the Vikings in the 5th round, I think. And they picked this little linebacker like Chris T. Jones from Clemson. 5'10", like 215.
What? Small and light.
Yeah.
That's running back.
But that was Eddie McDaniel. He was like that.
Yeah.
They picked him. So then I was like, bump the draft. I'm thinking like, where am I going free agent? My dad is like giving my agent death threats. Big shout out to Peter Schaefer, man, and Lamont Smith. They held it down because Chuck Foreman was on him.
That's a scary place to be, I've been told.
Because I'm too, after that, I was like, didn't want to get drafted. So I'm sitting in my, so at this point in time, my grandfather had passed already. And so I just went to his room. And my grandmother kept his room the same. Like, obviously, cleaned it up and stuff. So I went in there, it was chilling. And, just kind of just gathering my thoughts. I mean, I was hot. So my grandma came down there. She had a cane. She just see the truck. It probably took her 10 minutes to get downstairs. She's like, baby, it's going to be all right. Then she started praying. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, Austin, I'm not trying to hear nothing. Okay? I ain't praying. If you praying, just say amen and leave me alone. So she said this long prayer or whatever. And so we were just in there talking. And I was like, man, I don't know what's going on, this, and this. And I was like, I can't believe it. Like, I've done it. I'm sitting there thinking, like, what else could I have done? And then here's what happened. It was the middle of the 5th round. And one of my dad's friends called me. Hey, did you get drafted? Click. Like, I threw the phone at a Nextel phone. Next thing you know, a number came up there, 716. I was like, hello? Wade Phillips was like, you want to be a Buffalo Bill? And literally, I always tweet out the picture. I said, F yes. I didn't care at that point. And all the anger and everything just like literally left the house. We was at my grandma's house back in Frederick, Maryland, left the house. And everybody, it was a great moment. But up until then, I hated life. You know what my analogy is? When you go out deep sea fishing, I was seasick. And, I got motion sickness. So, I would have rather just thrown up and felt better. But I didn't. So you're just there. And then when, what they do is it's a charter thing. So they get you up there and they say, okay, now you got to reel them in. The adrenaline gets going. All the motion sickness goes out of your body. Mm. And then once you get it, then it's like, okay, that was worth it. So
even though it was Buffalo.
Then I felt with the ending crazy thing. I went up, I fell in love in Buffalo. Mm. I loved it up there. That's why I was so mad at Tom Donahoe when he traded me. You know what I'm saying?
Understandable.
Yo, I was salty, man. I cussed him.
You had to wait 5 rounds, and you end up in Buffalo, and then they trade you anyways.
I think they just knew. Cold. I think they knew, because I used to run with my crew, right? There's 4 of us left. One of them, he's incarcerated. He's still my boy. I go see him every time we go back. We was call ourselves the Minneapolis Dogs, and I think if they did some research, like these dudes get together with a little money in his pocket, yeah, he's gonna end up in jail somewhere. So it ended up, Buffalo ended up being good. So that's my draft day story. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna talk about the latest mock draft. And any time that you have a draft and you got somebody that's really smart with numbers, texted Austin. It was early this morning. I apologize for waking you up.
Jay, I have a 6-month-old kid.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. That's why I texted you. I was like, either he up or he going to be up. People that are good at numbers have the hit rate. You will be astonished at what position has the highest hit rate. I did not know that.
No.
So we're going to do the latest mock draft. We're going to talk about New England at number 3. We're going to talk about the Vikings. We're going to talk about the Giants at number 6. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Lincoln, you wanted more sweet and spice in your life, and now you've got it. At Wings and Rings, their brand new Hot Honey has all of Lincoln buzzing. Try their one-of-a-kind house-made sauce on the brand new Hot Honey Chicken Sandwich or their Hot Honey Shrimp and Slaw. And of course, you can get it on the traditional, boneless, or smoked wings that have made Wings and Rings your go-to neighborhood spot. Hot Honey was supposed to be gone on April 1st, but they're extending it indefinitely. So stop by Wings and Rings at one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street and on Village Lane.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Friday, April 26th versus the Grand Rapids Rise at CHI Health Center in Omaha. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pierce and Renee Saunders starts at 6 p.m. with first serve at 7. Make sure to tune in to the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage before kickoff on April 27th. Not heading downtown for the spring game? Visit the Highball Bar for daily specials, live music, and much more. Spend your spring game Saturday just north of 11th and O and within walking distance of Memorial Stadium at the Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on in basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. Old School NFL draft is in full effect. NBA playoffs. Austin, listen, man. Telling that story it's funny, but it wasn't funny at the time.
I say you can laugh now, right?
Man, your boy was mad, man. I was mad at the world at that point in time. But I mentioned in the crossover with Strick that there's a quarterback that throughout his whole college career, even though he played at 2 universities, essentially, I guess I could, if I was him, I'd say I'd make guys into first-round picks, but he's been able and was blessed enough to throw to first-round picks. Do you know who that is?
I'm trying to think through the quarterback options in this draft. Caleb Williams doesn't have first-rounders around him the whole time. Probably Daniels, right?
Yep. Jaden Daniels started out at Arizona State. Do you know who his receiver was?
Ayuk, right?
Yep, Brandon Ayuk, first-round pick. You know who his next 2 receivers are? You're about to see him get picked. They even talk about Malik Neighbors going higher than Marvin Harrison. Now he's just shot up the draft. He's even ranked higher than Rome Adunze, who was thought to be on the heels of Marvin Harrison Jr. And then you got Brian Thomas Jr., who's the other LSU receiver, possibly going to the Cowboys. Cowboys, how many receivers? You need more help than receivers, my brothers. But the latest mock draft on Pro PFT, what is that? Pro Football
Talk.
Pro
Yep.
Football Talk. They have Caleb Williams to Chicago is a done deal. It's been going on so long, they should have the contract done. Now I'm going to tell you what, and I want the text line to text in, and we'll give up. We'll start to say or give it. We'll read your opinions. Text in who you guys view as the biggest bust in NFL history of all time.
Ooh, all time.
Just the guys that you think are bust.
Yeah.
I think Caleb Williams. You know who he reminds me of? Russell Wilson. That he has no sense of reality.
Oh,
it's going to be hard. I think it's going to be hard for him unless he's totally different outside of, what we see. Him crying and all that stuff. Obviously, you should be, okay with your emotions, but then the other stuff, with the eyeliner and all that, I think it's going to be hard for him to get up and to really get himself into a locker room and lead people, because you're going to be leading grown men. And that Hollywood stuff, that little college play games and all that stuff. Listen, this is what happens to rookies. They don't understand. Is that you're dealing with guys that how you play and how you perform, especially when you're a number 1 pick, dictates the rest of their career, dictates if they get another contract, dictates if they're able to extend their career, 1, 2, 3 more years. So it's a big business. So hopefully he, is able to overcome that. We got some, this is quick. Everybody's listening. You ready for this? All you got to do is put out a question for people. They said Robert Gallery, who I thought was actually decent, better at guard than tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Jamarcus Russell. We got Johnny Manziel, Tebow, Ryan Leaf, Jamarcus Russell. We have one in here that says Caleb Williams will be a top 5 all-time bust. Yes, barely made it through. I think that. I told you, and you didn't believe me.
Should the Bears have signed a veteran quarterback this offseason to help with that transition?
They should have just kept
Fields?
Yeah.
Well, there's that.
You got a question here from the text line. Who cares if he cries or wears nail polish? Well, the people that generally around the league, they care. It's not that he cries, but when you're a quarterback, you have to be emotionally stable to lead grown men. And losing one game like that, even though he played great, he has to be able to turn that off there, and everybody's watching him. And what the question, I understand the question. whoever's doing he or she is doing the question or asking the question. It's not the act. It's more of the perception.
The attitude behind it and the perception of it.
Yeah. He already has a perception that he's Hollywood. He already came in and said that he should have been starting as a freshman over a first round pick. Now, granted, he ended up being better. The history, told itself. Not at that point yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's whether he was a good teammate or not at USC. He kept himself separated. He talked in the third person. All these other things. He's going into a locker room with grown men that jobs depend on you being a team player. It can't be all about you as a rookie, no matter who you are. And that's really what it means. Tony Mandarich and Ryan Leaf. I'm going to push back on Tony Mandarich because actually Tony Mandarich, once he got healthy, he actually was a pretty good, respectable guard. He was better at guard.
Mm-hmm.
Look, man, when I saw him on sport, I was like, this dude is, he was a man-child, but Reggie White has grown man strength, and that being strong in college and in the pros are two different things.
Trent Richardson?
Yes. He looked like 1,000-yard runner, and he just got the NFL and he just kept eating.
Like Eddie Lacy at least had a couple good years.
Yeah.
Trent Richardson did not.
Yeah. He just couldn't. I don't know what it was either, man, because it wasn't like a speed or quickness thing. It was power. Tim Couch. See, I always give a little bit of leeway. I don't consider you're a bust if you have injury history. That's just that's as much as I only got injured once. I know guys that are really good players that just couldn't get over the injury. I don't consider that. Tim Couch had a little bit of injury, and at that point in time, going to Cleveland, essentially, the career, death sentence. See, I would say Kejani Carter. I would put in the injury. I don't think he's a bust because of injuries. Who knows it? I know Cincinnati's field wasn't up to snuff. And then they had Achilles Smith. I don't think Ricky Williams was not a bust. If you look at Ricky Williams' yards, he's borderline Hall of Fame. Jimmy Clausen, just because of coming in, and then you hear the story where he tried to charge Cam Newton $1 million for his number.
Cordell Stewart?
No. I don't think Cordell was ever viewed, and he wasn't picked so high that he was like at the Ryan Leaf level.
Okay.
Here we got a good text here. He said Williams will never own or command the locker room. Way too soft. That's a little bit kind of what I'm getting at right there. Gaines Adams. That's the defensive end, isn't it? Gaines Adams. Oh, this dude's sitting in Jay Foreman.
Dang. Gaines Adams, not realized, passed away in 2010.
Who is Gaines Adams?
27.
Is he
defensive end
for
Clemson, unanimous All-American.
Yes.
I see him in a Bucks jersey right now.
Yeah, I remember him. Big Slim said first round Bucks. Brock Osweiler. I wouldn't say he's a bust draft pick. He was a bust. Bortles. Oh no, he ended up. Well, when you pick that
Jake
high,
Locker?
Yes. He just quit. Bortles, yes, because he went first round, but he played a long time.
Yeah.
Had the best interview everywhere. Just said, what do you do when you first wake up in the morning? Take a what. Yeah, that's pretty good. Matt R, he says Brock Osweiler. I don't think it's a bust draft pick. I think it's a bust free agent pickup. And the reason why I know is because my man Rick Smith signed him to a huge starting free agent deal, sight unseen. I mean, the dude played like one game. So that's it right there. But in this latest mock draft going down, and I'm going to talk to you, Austin, a little bit about some of the unique picks, right? Jaden Daniels going to the Washington Commanders. The word out of there, and I think there's smoke screen. This is where Magic Man is helping him, where he said, I'd be okay. I'm cool with going to Washington. But I would rather, what else he said? He said he'd rather go to Minnesota or he'd rather go to the Raiders. That got Magic Johnson written all over it. Trying to get somebody to trade up and give them a king's ransom, and then they get the quarterback they really want, i.e. like Drake May or something, and then somebody else takes them. Because I can't see a draft pick saying that you want to go to the Vikings or the Raiders. And as of right now, the Raiders pick 13.
And the Vikings are 11.
And the Vikings are 11. You're just giving away money. There's no way. He said that. Now, then they had the Vikings swapping with the Patriots at 3 and trading up to get Drake May. See, I see Jaden Daniels going more towards the Patriots, Drake May possibly to the Commanders. That's
okay.
Right.
Okay.
Then Cardinals has been the number 1 and number 4 pick has been pretty much set. Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr., the Lightning Bolts, Malik Neighbors.
Oh, you think Harbaugh goes wide receiver over offensive line?
And then they got the New York Giants taking Joe Alt, tackle. Then here comes a little bit of a run. Titans, J.C. Latham, that was high for him. He's probably low teens, mid-teens pick by other things. And then you got the Falcons taking Dallas Turner, a really good athlete, has a ton of upside, outside pass rusher edge from Alabama. That dude is going to be good. He's going to be really good. And fits into the locker room, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Raheem Morris, young, energetic, defensive-minded coach. He'll definitely get opportunities. And Illuminia, we'll call him Fashanu. Penn State offensive tackle. He's a potential pick. Like, he needs some seasoning. But he's going to the Bears, right? So what do? You draft your quarterback, pick hopefully a stalwart tackle.
Kind of feels like that pick for the Bears has the potential to be kind of like what the Bengals faced at the year after they take Burrow. Do they take Sewell or do they take Chase?
Yeah.
To some degree.
Yeah. Well, they feel like they got it. Keenan Allen, they got more. They had some other free agent picks. I think they feel like they got it taken care of. Plus, you want veteran guys with a rookie quarter, supposedly. Right. Fuaga, the tackle from Oregon State, goes to the Jets, kind of to learn behind the 2 veterans that they signed in free agency. And then you got J.J. McCarthy.
Ooh. To New England. By way of Minnesota.
Yeah. Gerard Mayo. I can see that.
Because really the calculus for New England is, do they want Daniels or May, or do they want McCarthy plus whatever Minnesota would have to give them? That's the math.
And he gives you a little bit of, he can run. He's got a lot of learning to do. They got Jacoby Brissett that can be there for not only a bridge for this year, but for 2 years if he has to, and kind of turn the keys over to him next year. I like that pick for New England. I'm not a big J.J. McCarthy fan, but I like it. The more I see him and realize he's going first round, I start to like him a little bit more.
Better value, especially if you add those picks from the trade.
Right at that point, too. Yeah. So, anyways, we're up against the clock. We're going to come back after a quick break. We're going to read off some more of your first round busts. Then at the top of the hour, we're going to finish the mock draft. Then we're going to go into the calculation of the hit rate on draft picks and what positions. And so if I'm a new GM, Austin, and so are you, in the second segment of the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to look at the ones, and you're going to be your team, the Colts. And you're going to see what you're going to have to tell me which one of those we're going to evaluate you on the hit rate. So anyways, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes and family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding
and tailgating tradition. Burnouts, beer, and barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time, and you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 4th and 5th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today looks like a very nice day with mainly sunny skies and calm winds and a high around 70. Tonight, a slight chance of showers, otherwise mainly cloudy, low around 51. And tomorrow, showers and storms are likely, especially in the afternoon. It'll be breezy too with a high around 64. Meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
When you're in New York, Nick, in New York, I mean, you're talking about, you see mafioso types. You go into a restaurant and you would literally eat. Hey, come on over here. You know, they I don't know how to say it. I don't got the accent, but they would say, come, Strick, come here, come over. Have a drink on me. And what are you going to do? Say no?
You not say
you
no
don't
to that?
say no to the drink. You don't say no.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. We appreciate you actually on the text line, showing some love. And well, it's like when you participate. Just to recap, Brock Osweiler, I think he's probably a bust, a free agent pickup. Josh Rosen, the tennis player. Listen, here's what I said about Josh Rosen. I liked it. He had some. I felt like he had some mental toughness and had some good comeback victories, and all that. It's twofold. Number one, he was a tennis player, so like he's soft, because he's not the alpha tennis player. Like the guys that you're thinking of, right?
The recreational country club tennis guy.
He was a country club tennis player,
Mhm.
right? And then he told people about it,
Mhm.
so that turned people off in the draft.
Hot tub or the pool in his dorm room.
But then you make a comeback. You got a hot tub in your dorm room. I mean, that's innovative.
It is,
right? But he was a bust. I think one thing I'll say about Josh Rosen, excuse me. Yes, he's technically a bust, but Arizona at that point was didn't do right by him. It was a horrible situation. He had the worst offensive line, and they traded him, didn't give him time to develop. So there is factors to it.
I kind of thought Josh Rosen had a chance to be Jared Goff.
He did, but he didn't have the support,
right.
And he didn't have the head coach.
Right.
And that's everything. You need the organization behind you, the GM, a good head coach, and a plan.
Mm-hmm.
They had nothing. None of those at Arizona at the time. Other one is Joey Harrington. Yeah. David Carr told me a story about Joey Harrington. And David Carr is great. I got to get him on. David Carr was great, man. His dad was cool, man. His dad would come. His dad had won like California State Long Drive Championship all the time. His dad was cool. Derek Carr used to be going through them quarterback drills when he was young. I like that dude better than his big brother. Straight up, he'd do them. David Carr said that when all the quarterbacks got it together, he's like, I hate Joe Harrington. Said I think he talked down to David because he was from Fresno. Because obviously Joey wanted to go number one. So yeah, I say Joey Harrington. Then Jake Locklear from the Titans. Because who was it? It was Jake Locklear, Bortles, and Cam, right?
Blaine Gabbert, Cam, and Jake Locklear. Yeah.
And they were talking about
Bortles was a few years later.
That's right. And they were talking about Locklear and Bortles going before Cam.
Cam one-man army a championship for Auburn.
But they were saying that Cam wasn't ready. And then Cam came out there his first game, threw for like 450 yards. Cam was funny though, man. When he dancing people, that's the one thing about him. He just was out there just doing his thing. Like, I'm here to play football. I'm gonna do my thing. You can't stop me. And for a while there, he was an unstoppable force.
You know the worst part of all that?
What?
Carolina was honest with Cam. They actually took him.
Yeah,
they were up front with him. They weren't up front with you, Jay.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? Here's the thing. I'll tell you this before we go to break. Every year we played Carolina. Here's the funny story. So we played Carolina. This is how I won't say immature, but this is how serious it gets when that was my last year in Buffalo. Yeah, my last year in Buffalo, my fourth year. We're hot garbage. Carolina, hot garbage. It was the toilet bowl. Gloomy day in Buffalo. It was like the 4:15, and we weren't getting on TV. So it was like this is how motivated we were. Greg Williams was pretty much, we knew we weren't going to playoffs. He said, listen, we ain't losing to them. Right? They might have been like 1-14 and we've been 2-13. He said, listen, we ain't losing to them.
We're garbage, but they're stinking garbage.
But they're stinking garbage. And when I tell you we played that game to death, we were in the huddle. We can't lose to these dudes. And we ended up beating them. But every time I played Carolina, and we played them when I was at Buffalo, we played them before. Sam Mills would come up and talk to me, man. Man, I've been watching you, man. You have a great career. You know, all that type of stuff. And then after I got traded to Buffalo, he had told Houston, Buffalo to Houston. He had told Mike Rucker that they wanted to sign me in free agency. I would have loved playing for Sam Mills. But every time I saw him, man, he just took a liking to me, man. And obviously, I love watching him playing. Obviously, Dom Capers, coached him. So I think he had a little bit of a background on me and stuff, but it just never worked itself out. And that's the way it usually works in the NFL.
But hey, you get back to Charlotte now and then. So
I do all the time. I do it all the time. Got two great kids there. So anyways, we're going to take a quick break. Come back. Top of the hour. We're going to finish the mock draft. Keep sending in your busts. And then we'll go from there. Look, man, you don't even have what's the Robinson receiver from South Carolina that was with the Vikings? There's a lot of guys that you can
Justin
think.
Blackmon.
Off the field killer. He was a problem in this first year. It was a problem off the field too. But I think he got a life together. So anyways, we'll be right back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll holler at you in a couple minutes.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes and family-friendly facilities. Trading paint. We got feuding. And tailgating tradition. Burnouts, beer, and barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time, and you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 4th and 5th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
This is Lancaster County Attorney Pat Condon reminding you to vote for my friend and colleague, Carolyn Bozin. Carolyn Bozin is a strong voice for Lincoln, who we need representing us in the legislature. Carolyn Bozin voted for historic funding for education to support our schools and for the largest property tax relief package in Nebraska history. Carolyn Bozin is the voice we need representing us in the legislature. This is Lancaster County Attorney Pat Condon. Join me in supporting Carolyn Bozin for legislature on May 14th.
Paid for by Bozin for legislature.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Movement Academy owner Robert Kuhlman will host the show as he introduces new ways to stay in shape. The Movement Hour every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yeah, you heard it. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. Brought to you by the Mercado, certified Piedmontese, special ingredients butcher shop, 84th and Havelock, 33 Yankee Hill, 168th and Maple up there in the O, the Metro as they like to call it. We are doing all things NFL draft, but there's some questions. Adam, we appreciate you texting in. We appreciate all you guys texting in. He says, do we count Desmond Howard as an NFL bust? No, I think he actually, now receiver wise, maybe so. But I think his size and lack of I don't think he ever was a refined route runner when he was in college, but he became a heck of a returner. Obviously went to Green Bay return. I mean, he ended up being a pretty good returner. So I would say this depends, and it's subjective.
Better returner than analyst.
Yeah. You know what? If you're going to lean one way, just go bust just because he's from Michigan. But I respected his game in the NFL. I would rationally say no. Here's another one from 8750, unknown texter. One of the most electrifying wide receivers of all time was Charlie Rogers, and he was a bust. That's truth. Remember, that's when Detroit drafted receiver 8 years in a row. You know who the other receiver was? Roy Williams.
Oh, that's right.
From Texas.
Yeah.
If anybody can send in on the text line, Roy Williams dancing in the locker room, it was the funniest thing ever because one of my best friends, Sean Bryson, was on Detroit. And I literally called him because I saw it on ESPN or NFL Network. I said, dude, is this dude like that all the time? He said, yeah. And I was crying on the phone. I was laughing so hard. If somebody could find it, please send it in. It would make this Wednesday even better. Aaron Curry, that's a good from Wake Forest came out of nowhere. Like when I didn't because I keep up with the draft. Seattle drafted him. He was hot garbage. Hey, and you know who else was one? Was the outside. Hey, we need the texters to help us out. He was an outside linebacker from Northern Illinois, went to the Chargers, and couldn't bust a great. He had big old arms, though. So, anyways, yeah, there's plenty of them so-called busts. But you know what? Nobody's actually a bust. If you're able to get that far and it doesn't work out, you're more than the 1%er. And sometimes it just doesn't work out. People don't understand. Circumstances of where you get drafted dictate your career 80% of the time. And so there's other factors, besides just being drafted. You don't end up being what they thought you were.
Larry English?
Yes. Buster Douglas. There's plenty of linemen that end up being bust. Oh, there's a bunch of guys. They had a Chris, his name was, I think, was it Ryan Ferris or Chris Ferris? He was a big old offensive tackle from UCLA. When they had your boy Cade McNown, he could possibly be one. He went to the Bears, and he was the left tackle. He was supposed to be like the mover and the shaker, and like being a road grader.
Mm-hmm.
Come busting great. You know who else? I don't even want to put him in there because he wasn't picked high enough to be a bust.
But he's a bust anyways.
No. My boy Eric Flowers. The fact that Jerry Gray told him that he was going to be on his period till he started making plays, he's just protected. It's just like that. It's just like that ump. What did I ever send you that thing about when the ump ejected all those
three guys?
Yeah. He's a national trip. And I watched that because I was up this morning. I don't know what got into me. I couldn't sleep. I got up, watched about 3 episodes of Game of Thrones, got a lot of business stuff done. I had to run down to you very early. I put my practice plan together for practice tonight.
Are you going to get him new tonight?
Here's the thing. We're getting off track, Austin.
Jay, too late. You gave a big speech on Monday about how they got to get new on Wednesday night.
I did.
Are you getting them new tonight?
Listen, we got a couple guys sick. They must have known
They know what's coming.
They know what's coming. Couple injured. The ones that are going to be there and go get the business. It's already set. That usually I keep about like a little sheet like this for practice plan. This thing is like this. It's like 3 pages. Yeah, we getting it all in too. Christian Hackenberg, yeah. Steve Entman, I think the injuries hurt him. There's plenty of them. I mean, heck, you can even say Kyle Pitts at this point. Down in Atlanta, he's still playing. O.J. Howard.
Yeah, that.
Remember when they were supposed to team him up with Rob Gronkowski?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, back to this pro football talk mock draft here. Let me get this back up. We got about halfway through the first round. Where is it?
I have us left off at McCarthy.
All right. Yeah, I like that pick for New England more than I initially thought. Like I said,
but Jay, what comes next?
I know. Hold on. Let me find this. I gotta get. I sent you like 85 texts.
You did,
and I sent you that thing from Jerry Morgan, kind of Bubba Dub on LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get in. We'll end the show on that.
Okay.
Oh, JJ McCarthy. Then my Buffalo Bills make it via trade with Denver. They get Rome Odunze from Washington. I like that pick. That's the best receiver for them. He works well with Josh Allen. He's played with Michael Penix, deep threat, and knows how to route run off schedule.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big human being right there.
Large fella.
Yes, for no reason. You need to learn how to kick
step,
brother.
Is OV or something?
I don't know, but he needs to learn how to kick step. We need, hey, Matt Rule, I gotta do that. He might be a walk-off, but you get a couple. Corey Campbell gets a hold of him. You might have your all-conference left tackle, man. I like that pick for Josh Allen. I like it that I like Neighbors. I don't like him as much as everybody else. I think sometimes this is one thing that's funny about the draft because we heard it as draft picks. The success of Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, seeps down to other receivers. So now you think there is like something in the water. Like, granted, look, Mickey Joseph recruited all these dudes. They said that he was recruited by Mickey Joseph. That all of a sudden they're just going to be just as good. I think the situation and those two dudes are just next level.
Mm-hmm.
These two guys are reaping the benefits of it. So what has happened? That's Buffalo's game. After that, Jared Verse, who I think is right close to Dallas Turner. The first quarter of the season, half of the season, he was supposed to go top like 6 or 7. Just slipped because of the run on the offensive tackles. That's a value pick. Raiders actually picked with Max Crosby. I like learn from the Condor. I like it, and he plays hard too.
Yes.
So them two ends that are bringing it, boy,
made a good business move too. Going from Albany to Florida State, that was a huge move for him.
And staying in school and continue, and then having to run with the undefeated season. Great job by him. Brock Bowers, probably the best offensive player the Saints. You get him at 14.
Woo.
And Hayden Hurst just retired.
Mm-hmm.
So then there you go. Derek Carr, here you go. Here's your shiny. You're getting the best offensive player. There's no more excuses. I like that for the Saints. Mitchell, Quentin Mitchell, that's the guy from Toledo. Great footwork. Great footwork from Toledo. Went down to the Senior Bowl, locked him down. I like that. Great pick by your Colts. Value pick. That's a top 10 pick that you're getting at 15. Chop Robinson. I think I didn't see his film match number 16. But when you see him work out, I'm willing to take it. Listen, they said he called him pork chop because he was chubby back when he was young.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, that baby fat gone. My man is yoked up to the gills.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it for Seattle. They need it bad. They haven't had a true pass rusher in quite some time.
Defensive-minded head coach.
Defensive-minded head coach. He gets his first pick. That's what you usually do. Taron Arnold, I think he's just as good as Mitchell. I'd probably take him more just because he's bigger, but he's going to Jacksonville.
And Bama.
Yep, and Bama. But he's going to Jacksonville. I like it because you have Griffin on the other side that they got from Seattle, second-round pick. He's a second-round pick of Seattle. Got him in the free agency down there. I like that. You got Byron Murphy. Now we got D tackle from big man from Texas. I like that. To go with DJ Reader for the Bengals there, Austin. I like the big man right here. I like him. He's a definitely. Then I think you get Latu, the edge from UCLA. I think he has the best array of pass rush moves. Long though, heavy hands, great technique. He is gonna do wonders for the Rams. The Rams have drafted well. You lose Aaron Donald.
Yeah,
you're not gonna replace him up the middle. You got to buy committee. What do? Get him on the outside. And that's what they've done. They've done a really good job. Here we go. Graham Barton, center guard. We're going to talk about this. The hit rate. Pittsburgh. What does Pittsburgh want to do? Get stronger up the middle. What do? Address the center and guard position. Now you got a guy that can play both positions. I like that for Pittsburgh. Nate Wiggins, the cornerback from Clemson, going to the Dolphins. Like that. Learn under Jalen Ramsey. You got rid of Howard. So you need a replacement. So you assume that he's going to go in and start day one. Here's the guy I would like probably before Nate Wiggins because he gives you more position flexibility and obviously helps in special teams. Cooper DeJean, cornerback from Iowa, one of the best players in the nation. Stupid athlete.
Insane.
Yeah. Can return kicks and punts and lockdown corner. Best name out there so far, Kool-Aid McKinstry. I like him. Anybody that named Kool-Aid and you going to New England?
We cool.
Yeah, we're cool with you. So you good, man. And they need corners up there. Brian Thomas, the receiver from LSU, is going to the Cowboys.
Seems superfluous.
Jerry Jones has turned into Al Davis number 2. You just going to draft receiver 8 years in a row.
With the next pick taking a tackle, he just lost Tyron Smith.
Right.
Go get it, dude.
Don't worry about that. Go ahead, Dak. It's all your fault too. It's a make or break year for you. You don't need a lineman.
Nah.
You know, we
need weapons.
We didn't have anybody because when Tyron Smith didn't play, they were horrible. So guess what Dallas does? We'll get more skill position guys. Green Bay, right? Want to revamp it. Was it Bakhtiari retired? Just couldn't. That's right there. That's a guy. I wouldn't say he was going to be Hall of Fame, but he could have been like a potentially stalwart Pro Bowl guy, super quick from Colorado. Just rash of knee injuries, man.
Kind of reminds me of Costanzo.
Yes.
Indy.
Yeah. Just couldn't. He would come back and then it would be
play at a high level and then something.
And it would be big ones too. So they had to replace him. Good job by Green Bay. Made us look like fools with Jordan Love. What do? Get his back protected. Xavier Legette, DJ Metcalf number 2. The thing about him going to the Bucs, which is weird, you just bring back Mike Evans. You got Trey Palmer.
Godwin's still there.
Godwin's still there. I don't think this is a good pick, but I think you got Trey Palmer was more than a value pick. You got a 3rd, 4th round pick in the 7th round, and you go and pick another guy 1st round. It doesn't seem right. But if they picked him, I always say DJ Metcalf number 2 because he's a height, weight, size, speed, and he is legit though. He's a good player.
Yeah.
The only difference between him and DJ Metcalf coming out of college, DJ Metcalf's got a really deep voice. He has a high country dude voice. It does not match the body type.
Not even close.
I don't know if I could draft him just because of that in the meeting. I'm like, I don't know about
Freak
that.
Out a little bit.
Yeah, it's like Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tyson has the lisp on top of it.
Yeah, but he has it. He's super country though.
Right.
And then here's an interesting pick. Now I will say this, texters out there, the Denver Broncos, as it sits today, has the worst quarterback room in NFL history. Period.
Not good.
I would bet you guys on the text line that you could not text in a worse quarterback room than Denver has sitting today. But what does Sean Payton do? So I'm going to fix it. I'm going to go get me the 30-year-old rookie Bo Nix that's been in college for 85 years that played his butt off this year.
We know how he looks in navy and orange.
Right. And look, he's solid, married, and already got a kid on the way. That's a great pick for them because you need a quarterback. You can't wait. I don't know why Michael Penix is not in his plans, but I like where Michael Penix goes in the next pick to the Raiders. Antonio Pierce has got these guys thinking right, drafting right. You get Verse, right? Defensive stalwart, a super value pick. Because I think if you really look at if Michael Penix can stay healthy, he's just as good as Jason Daniels, just as good as Drake May, and outdueled Caleb Williams. I like him. Why? He throws the intermediate to deep ball with superior accuracy. He's a better athlete than people think. He stayed in the pocket because their offensive line was good, and he could just light you up. But I think he's a sneaky athlete. I think he has better leadership skills. I think you get all kind of smoke screen with the do-rag, and you give him his credit. Look, when he was
in emotion. It's
right.
Phillip Rivers' motion.
Yeah, his emotion is different. He want that dog in him, right? He rapped his way back to the comeback victory against Oregon. Once you do that, then I'm cool. And then here's the guy that I thought Buffalo could get going to Baltimore. Big shout out to Baltimore. Your first time that you drafted a receiver and he got signed to an extension. Bateman signed today. They drafted, said, we're going to bring in another one. Hopefully he re-ups again. Ladd McConkey. Listen, 4.3, 4.4, 40. Do not let the lack of pigmentation fool you. He will dice you up in the route game. He's strong in the route after the catch. He can 50-50 balls, and he can kill you run after catch.
Moves the
and
chains.
Return ability as well in the punt game. I like it. Xavier Worthy, a big-time 5-star recruit coming out, paid dividends for Texas, going to San Fran. Why? Brendan Ayuk is wanting a big deal. He wants to be paid like number one. You got Deebo Samuel, look like he might be on the move. And guess where he might end up too? Buffalo.
Oh, boy.
Everybody going to Buffalo. And then we got another one who has the second best name. We got Kool-Aid had the best name, second best name, Enos Rackstraw Jr. Now, here's what we want to do. We got to find Enos Rackstraw Sr. Where are you? Just from that alone, I don't even know what college you went to. He's going first round, cornerback going to the Chiefs. There's your mock draft. That's our thoughts. It's coming up in less than 24 hours. We'll be talking about it. Get ready for it tomorrow. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and then we're going to talk about I sent Austin this it was like a picture, but I was up early this morning, and a guy did a hit rate on the position. So it's whatever position, all the positions: center, tackle, guard, linebacker, quarterback, edge, defensive tackle, cornerback, running back, safety, tight end, wide receiver. The first round picks of the last 10 years, and how many he has a hit or miss rate. And it's gonna really be interesting when we read off these numbers. Who has the highest hit rate? It goes from green, yellow to red, and then you will see. Then we need to really evaluate this draft. And I'm going to keep this, and we're going to all right, well, who fits in this green, yellow, red? So we're going to take a quick break, come back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the perfect place to watch your favorite MLB teams this spring and summer, as well as Nebraska baseball. Enjoy Tanner's delicious hamburgers, chicken lips, and daily specials, and wash it down with one of their tons of options of beers. You'll never have an issue finding the game, as there are TVs everywhere throughout the space. So get in early and grab your spot and settle in for an afternoon or evening of baseball at Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
Whether you're looking for a place to stay for a concert at PBA, a Nebraska home game, or just a night on the town, the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket is the place for you. Enjoy an evening at one of many restaurants or bars within a short walking distance. Business travelers at the hotel will enjoy free high-speed internet access, a 24-hour business center, and large in-room workstations. And check out the bistro, where you'll enjoy healthier food and beverage options, as well as high-tech conveniences. Book your room today at the Courtyard Lincoln, downtown Haymarket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and our annual spring sales event is now underway. We have absolutely huge savings right now at Cobble. New Sierras and new Silverados have a double whammy. Choose from APR starting at 1.9% or discounts over $9,000. Yes, that's right, 1.9% APR or discounts of over $9,000. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street just south of the interstate, or check us out online at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket. It's getting nicer outside, but it's still hit or miss in the spring on golf weather. Not at Double Eagle Golf. You're home for always 72-degree weather with no wind. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend, or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues are underway, but stay tuned for info on indoor golf tournaments and book your bay for after the spring game in late April. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
When you're in New York, Nick, in New York, I mean, you're talking about, you see mafioso types. You go into a restaurant and you would literally eat. Hey, come on over here. You know, they I don't know how to say it. I don't got the accent, but they would say, come, Strick, come here, come over. Have a drink on me. And what are you going to do? Say no?
You not say
you
no
don't
to that?
say no to the drink. You don't say no.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, second segment. Hit rate. So the way it goes is they calculate by position how many have been drafted in the first round and whether they're hit or miss.
Whether or not they signed a second contract.
Yeah, so and that's the hit, right? And so obviously the position that is drafted has the most draft picks is edge, outside rusher, 104. I thought, that's a lot by a landslide too. The next, Austin, is wide receiver, 77. After that, it's corner, right? So now when you think about free agency and you know, this funny thing about it, Dallas Cowboys picked up Micah Parsons' 5th year. Pittsburgh decided not to pick up Justin Fields' 5th year based on who knows why. They want to have a 1-year rental. And you think about guys that get the huge contracts. Wide receiver, cornerback, edges. Now, of course, everybody else does, but that's where it is. People would normally think quarterback would be so high. That's not necessarily the truth, because you'll have a year where there's a lot of quarterbacks drafted in the first round, then there might only be 1 or 2. They've only had 56. Offensive tackle, you would think, because they just are going to just take linemen every single year, is at 64. Running back is really dipped off, is in 48. And their hit rate is skewed because of running back by committee is really taking over the league. That's just my opinion. Safety is a little odd, because I would say safety is a hard position, but I don't think it's not. I think it's not a hard position.
Do you think the value of safety is changing?
It's changing. It was really, really high. Then it's dipped.
With like the Reed, Palomalu,
right. It was
Matthew.
Right. And they were getting huge contracts. Now it's kind of like, hey, look, we can find corners and throw them back there and take nickels to put them back there. It's more of a cover position now versus, they were do it all. Tight end is a 24. And I'm on record saying tight end, if I'm going to try to be explosive or get my offense going, get a quarterback and 2 tight ends and destroy you in the middle of the field. Linebacker, of course, only has 50. Center only has 12. That's the lowest. And let me see what else did I miss. Offensive tackle has 64. I mentioned that. But so when you think of the center, right, who has the highest hit rate, which is crazy, it's 92%. Second place is 59.
Woo!
That's 33% difference.
And part of that is just the numbers.
The numbers,
right?
But the percentage is huge.
Is insane. Only one first-round center in this sample hasn't signed a second deal.
Right.
But you look at those top 3 positions here, Jay, all in the green.
Right. What is it?
Offensive line.
Right.
Right.
The
Very
easiest.
rare is it that you get a project, right? Yeah, you'll take a flyer on some guys.
Right.
But either they're good from the get-go or they show you enough pretty quickly to sign them.
Yeah, or they continue along a steady progress of getting better, and then the light comes on.
Lowest percentage of guys leaving early,
Right,
probably.
exactly. And also it's look at it, center, offensive tackle, guard. They all work together. Generally, you put them with guys that teach them the position. I think offensive line coaches are generally pretty good throughout the league. So the center had 12 guys picked in the first round, 11 hits, 1 miss. Tackles, 64 guys drafted, 38 hits, 24 misses. That's 59%. Guards, 28 picked, 14 hit, 14 misses. Now that's really interesting because even though it's 50%, they're technically on the green on this chart. That's a lot of misses for that amount of draft picks.
I would be curious to know the breakdown of who these guys are and to see how many of them stuck at guard and how many try to get moved to tackle or center.
Right.
Either way.
Yeah, and then were they just kind of 1-year guys after that and end up being backups and stuff like that. So you got to think some guys are reaches. Remember a couple years ago, Mike Mayock was the GM of the Raiders. He picked Leatherwood, that was graded out before the draft, 2nd or 3rd round pick. He picked him like top 14, 15. Chance Womack.
Right.
Jonathan Brown, that got drafted by the Arizona Cardinals, who was, a bust, kind of a bust. So now we're in the yellow. Yellow is kind of be cautious, but still a safe pick. You go right to linebacker. You know how we do it. 48%, and that's 50 total, 24 hits, 26 misses. And I think that's pretty accurate because you got some guys that are really good college players that don't end up being really that good in the league. I think the change in defense is going from more like a nickel defense really hurts that number because for years prior in your kind of caught in the transition, you're going to be out of the league.
There's a big difference in linebackers too, whether you're playing stack or you're playing on the outside too, because Roquan Smith and Nolan Smith probably both get graded as linebackers. They don't play the same position the same way. Like Luke Kuechly, I think, is probably in this calculation.
Yeah, and he was a for sure hit.
Right.
Roquan Smith was a for sure hit. Are you an inside linebacker in a 3-4, so that means 2 of them, or are you an outside linebacker in a 4-3 in the will linebacker, or possibly a Sam line? There's all different types of factors in it. But the next one with the most drafted, this lets you know what's the most important position on defense is edge. 104 draft picks, 46 hits, 58 misses. I'm telling you, if you're a 6'4", small forward, power forward,
put your hand in the dirt.
Put your hand in the dirt. Put your hand in the dirt. Because I'm telling you, the NFL will overdraft guys in the first round all the time. It was the defensive end from Cleveland that went number 4 with Mike Mayock. Bust. Ton of them. Thomas, the defensive end from Stanford, hasn't really done anything. There's tons of them.
But what that tells you too, Jay, I mean, honestly, 46 out of 104, I mean, that's not quite 50%, right? 44%. It tells you how many guys are taken, but also just how in demand edge is, not just by the draft pick, but how many of them got signed to a second contract. I think there's some worry among NFL teams that, okay, we haven't seen this guy put it fully together, but if we don't sign him, he might break out somewhere else, and we can't have that happen.
And generally that supply and demand is always there, though. Because you can never, they always say you can never have enough pass rushers. You can never have enough corners. And so even if you have, say I was picked number 15 and say like I didn't get to double digits, but I had 7. Well, that's 7 more sacks than maybe another team ever had with their older pass rusher. And here comes a younger one. You get a second contract and able to take advantage of it. Defensive tackle, 60 total picks, 24 hits, 36 misses. It's hard to see that number because I feel like defensive tackle, you can affect the game, but I also think that the quick passing game hurts it because generally you get your second contract like a Grady Jarrett, of course, an Aaron Donald, those type of players.
Jalen Carter's the next case study in that.
Right. And you because of the pass rush ability. But you got to think a guy like he wasn't a first round pick, but DJ Reader that went from Houston to Cincy, he was known as a run stopper. He goes to Cincy, they let him rush the passer. He's a 3 or 4 sack guy. So the next is the other position, right? The second or the third leading number in total draft picks. Corner, 71 picks, 27 hits, 44 misses. I think that's indicative of the lack of development at the lower levels through college, the change and the difference between in college. I think you're facing a lot of like spread RPO, where in the pros you got to cover dropbacks, you got to cover route combinations, you got to be able to read the offensive set and the route tree kind of on the run. The defense is a lot more complex because of the time together and the offensive coordinator. So I think a little bit has to do with it. And plus, you just never know how people react being out there on an island facing a Jamar Chase, a Justin Jefferson, or somebody like that. You get beat a couple times, and if you don't have a pass rush, and this is also cornerback is not fully dependent on pass rush, but it's heavily dependent on a pass rush. So that's maybe indicative.
Does it surprise you that there's an 11 percentage point difference between corner and wide receiver? Two positions that are matched up with each other?
Well, you're both dependent on two different things. Why? Well, look at quarterback. High bust rate, right? High bust rate. If the quarterback's not good or isn't good already there, he could be a veteran. He's not good. Or doesn't have an offensive line, doesn't have a tight end, receiver's not going to do anything. Corner, if you don't have enough pass rush, it'll hurt you. But if you know how to play the corner or play the position, or if you play some zone and you have a really good like scheme, you'll be fine. So I think that's where the biggest difference, because running back is, look, we've talked about it from Saquon and everybody not getting second contracts. I think those numbers are skewed because I think there's guys besides the Alvin Kamara. I think Saquon, look how long it took him to get a new contract. Dalvin Cook, he just kind of, he had 1,000 yards and you end up going to Jets for, a little bit of nothing. Aaron Jones, same thing. I think all these guys, most of these guys that are really, really good aren't first round picks. So I think the numbers are skewed. Safety, we already talked about that. It's a hard position to evaluate. I don't think it's a hard position to play, but you're not really you're not put in the position like Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed, and all those guys to affect the game. So then you can get anybody. It's kind of like the modern day version of when I played linebacker. If you're not really, really special, you're kind of turn it over pretty frequently.
I feel like if you're that kind of in the box safety, you're kind of getting played out of the league at this point. They want the deep safeties. They want the guys that can essentially help play cover three, right? They want the corners that can be on an island, and then that kind of center field guy that can cover hash to hash or sideline to sideline.
You want the Minkah Fitzpatrick that can do multiple things, 3-level. The defender can blitz when needed to. Kyle Hamilton, those guys. Honey Badger, probably his earlier times with Kansas City, and then obviously that 1 or 2 year run with New Orleans. So that's the way it is. The next one here is a little odd. Is tight end. Again, depending on the quarterback, depending on the offensive line. But I also think there's so many good older tight ends, and I think you can get a really good tight end in the second, third, and fourth round. I think that's what really hurt. You gotta think like Hunter Henry. He, that signed a big deal with New England. He's still up there. He wasn't a first round pick.
I have a list of the first-round picks since 2000.
All right, let's hit it. Let's hear them.
This is going to be from most recent to oldest.
All right.
Kyle Pitts, 2021.
Borderline.
TJ Hawkinson.
Good.
Noah Fant.
Good.
Hayden Hurst.
But I'd take him.
OJ Howard.
Bust.
Evan Ingram.
I don't know. He had that one really good year and then dipped down last year.
David Njoku.
Oh, he's good.
Eric Ebron.
Nope.
Tyler Eifert.
He got hurt.
He did. Jermaine Gresham.
I don't even remember him.
Brandon Pettigrew.
I don't remember him
Dustin
either.
Keller.
Oh, Brandon Pettigrew was at Detroit.
Yep.
Dustin Keller, no.
Greg Olson.
For sure.
Vernon Davis.
Yes, sir.
Mercedes Lewis.
Yes.
Heath Miller.
Yes.
Kellen Winslow, too.
I'm a soldier.
Ben Watson.
I'm a true soldier.
Dallas Clark.
I got nightmares.
Jeremy Shockey.
Yes.
Daniel Graham.
Heck yes.
Jeremy Stevens.
Ooh.
And then 3 more after that.
No. Who else?
Todd Heap.
Yep.
Bubba Franks.
Red Zone Killer.
Anthony Becht.
I think he was all right. Anthony Becht, I think, was really good.
But all of them since 2000.
Yeah. So there it is. And then last but not least, 77 picks with 21 hits, 56 misses, wide receiver position.
Sheesh.
Why is that, Austin?
I think there can be a lot of reasons for it. I think you said the quarterback situation, right? I feel like wide receivers typically are going to be the ones running into off the field stuff, kind of diva mindset to some degree. I think the better athlete you are, you can get away with it in college, but you got to tighten up your technique in the NFL to some degree. To me, it's just kind of a warning sign too, because a lot of guys are getting pushed out to wide receiver right now. If they're good athletes, they're being pushed from running back maybe to wide receiver. Yeah. To me, if I'm reading this chart as a GM, it's this guy has to be an absolute, no doubt, number one guy, or I can get better value later in the
second,
draft.
third. Yeah, because that's where a lot of the guys, you got to think Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, all these guys. Sometimes people focus too much on the Justin Jeffersons and Jamar Chases. The guys that are really doing it in the league are the guys that aren't drafted in the first round. So that's where you go. You got to think Devontae Adams is the second round pick.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. I mean, Deebo Samuel, went after the first round. There's a ton of them. So, yeah, I think the inability for coaches to teach young wide receivers or receivers in college how to get off press coverage. Because in the league, they'll press you and they'll play man or zone. Mm-hmm. In college, when they're pressing you, it's like 80%, 85, 90% man. So, and then plus...
I can understand how press into zone would be hard to learn, though.
Yeah, to go against.
Yeah.
But then also, you have to be able to read the coverages on the move in the league.
Like in real time.
In real time. So as you're coming out because you'll show one coverage and play another. You got it. So the quarterback is reading the same thing, so you got to be on the same page.
Would you say that's like 20, 30% of interceptions is quarterbacks and receivers not reading real time, right?
Yeah, or just miscommunication. I mean, we saw it with the Buffalo Bills and Gabe Davis, up there at Philly.
Right.
Season changing play. Gabe Davis wasn't the first round pick. Josh Godwin down in Tampa wasn't the first round pick. There's plenty of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, even my man Rice from Kansas City wasn't the first round pick. So there's plenty of them.
Michael Pittman Jr.
Michael Pittman, yeah, all of them. St. Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all the best receivers, like you said, are value after the first round. And so, anyways, one thing we do value, Austin, is all our listeners out there. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and put a bow on this Wednesday. Jay Foreman, Austin and Orman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bozin. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Lincoln is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and actively involved in our community. Last year, I voted for the largest property tax relief package in Nebraska history. Property tax relief is important to every family, and I will continue to deliver more property tax relief to working families. This is Carolyn Bosin, and I am asking for your vote on May 14th. Paid for by Bosin for Legislature.
Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes and family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding
and tailgating tradition. Burnouts, beer, and barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time, and you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 4th and 5th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and our annual spring sales event is now underway. We have absolutely huge savings right now at Copple. New Sierras and new Silverados have a double whammy. Choose from APR starting at 1.9% or discounts over $9,000. Yes, that's right, 1.9% APR or discounts of over $9,000. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street just south of the interstate, or check us out online at copplecars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
Ready to upgrade your combine in 2024? The team at Landmark Implement is here to help find the right combine to fit your operations needs. Choose from 4.9% for up to 60 months or a 12-month interest waiver, followed by John Deere financial rates with approved credit through the end of April. When you purchase a pre-owned S or X Series combine from Landmark, know you are backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network with mobile techs and parts drop-off points to keep you up and running. View our current inventory online at landmarkimp.com or stop by your local Landmark to experience the Landmark difference.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. I got about 4 or 5 minutes till we turn over Ticket weeknights on a Wednesday. But great news today for Reggie Bush. He got his Heisman back. And there was talk, I think we talked about it, where the Heisman committee said he would have to go around and pretty much politic for it. Looks like he didn't have to do it. He stayed pat to what he was, what he believed in. I don't think it should have been taken away from him. I mean, I saw, was it Ross Tucker said that since, I don't know if he was joking with his tweet, saying that since Reggie Bush got paid and he's the only one that ever got paid, he shouldn't get it back. I think it was tongue in cheek, because
there's no way Reggie was the only one that got paid.
There's no
way.
Yeah. So I'm
your
glad
boy Eddie George probably got paid.
Yeah. Well, I like tear off in his head one more time. But anyways, big shout out to Reggie Bush for getting it back, man. Well deserved. Times have changed. Look, he benefited off of NIL, even though he got taken advantage of his name, image, and likeness when he was in college at USC. There's without a doubt, as much as we can debate LeBron and Jordan, and me and Strick can debate, one thing that we can agree on: Reggie Bush is one of the top 4 or 5 college players ever.
Mm-hmm.
No worse than 6, and he ain't number 6.
Reg put up numbers.
Electrifying. And so, good for them. Whoever, made the decision, you got it back. I'm sure it's been weighing on his mind, something he really, really wanted. He's really good in studio, calls some games. He's made a great career of himself. Got a nice little golf swing. I'm always following him and seeing what he's doing. He got a sponsorship with Sirixon. I need to call them up and see if I can get in there. I don't play, but I'll take some free clubs. But you're always happy for somebody to get a Heisman back. You got to think Orenthal James got to keep his.
He did. It was never questioned.
Never questioned.
Never squeezed the juice for it.
Yeah, you ain't getting it back.
What were they going to do? To take it from him by force?
Yeah, Hey, just imagine that phone call. Yeah, because he never said. He didn't answer and say this is OJ or this is Orenthal. You know what I mean? He said, this is the juicer. This is OJ. He said, yeah, how you doing? He's like, oh, this is Brad Smith from the Heisman Committee. Even though you weren't convicted, but we still think you did it. We want your Heisman, man, because you haven't represented the Heisman Committee that good. What can you send it back? We'll pay for shipping.
You pay for shipping? Okay, here you go.
OJ probably like, nah, man, you got to come get it. Then they're like, where do you want to meet? In a public place at the mall. He said, nah, come to my house. Oh, that would. Yeah, look, man, you can't make fun of somebody that passed away. I take that back. But either way, big shout out to Reggie Bush. Glad he got his Heisman back, man. I'm sure he's elated. He had a lot of great support from some people and some big, powerful people in the sports media business saying that he should get it back. So, anyways, good show today. It was NFL draft and a couple busts. We'll be back tomorrow not on the eve of the draft, right before, and see if we have any change in the draft order, some trades, or the new rumors leading up to the draft. But for Wednesday, this is Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Senator Bo Ballard. I was born and raised in Lancaster County.